Hi folks, Rodney Kellum here again. Hey, today I'm going to do something kind of exciting. And first off, let me say, if you're a first-time viewer, appreciate you taking the time to watch the videos. If you're one of my subscribers, then welcome back. So let me flip the camera around here. I am standing in front of my 2022 Toyota Tundra, and then a good friend of mine, Luis Cruz. I do appreciate you let me use the truck for this, but this is his 2021 Tundra. And so I'm going to take him on a test drive. I actually wanted him to be in the video. He said, no, I'm not a YouTuber, and gracefully bowed out. So anyway, I'm going to take both trucks on a test drive on the same drive, and just want to kind of compare, you know, the performance, want to compare the ride. I'm going to open them up, let you look inside of them, and talk about some of the things that I like about the 2021 over the 2022, and you know, just kind of give you some thoughts. I know people that are watching these videos, they're in the thoughts of either thinking about getting a new 2022. Maybe some people already have theirs, you know, waiting for one to come in. And so any information I know that you people are looking for that can definitely help and kind of buy that time, I know that you'd be appreciative of. So anyway, let's just kind of open them up real quick. I'm going to start on his 21 Tundra. Now, one of the things that you notice right offhand is that when you open up the door, it just has a different sound to it. And I'll give you an example. The 2022 just seems a little more solid. But as soon as you get inside, now his is a limited model. His does have the simulated wood grain. They don't have that on the 22 model. We'll notice a big difference in the screen size, and I'll get in the 2022 in just a few minutes. The other thing is that these have real leather, and so where on the 2022 model they're using the Softex. So I actually appreciate the real leather. Obviously it has a distinct smell, but it is more comfortable, and that's one of the things that I wish they had done with the 2022 model. Sunroof, you can see here. Now the 2022 has a panel sunroof, so you do see a big difference in the amount of light that comes inside the vehicle. And then you can just kind of see, you know, the space that you have back there. So I'm going to jump in the back seat and check that out real quick. You can see how much leg room we have there. It's actually very spacious. Now let's jump into 2022. So you do have a lot of leg room here in the 2022 model, but I honestly think there's probably a little more room in the 2021 model. At least it seems that way. You can see how much light comes in, you know, with the panel sunroof, and that definitely makes it seem a lot larger. It also feels like it's kind of theater seating in the 2022 model. It does seem like you set up a little bit higher so you can have, or I should say you have better visibility, and that's a big difference. The other thing too, and maybe it's just my imagination, but it seems like you have more space in between the driver and the passenger, and there again, that could just be perception. All right, so let me jump back out. Up front, you do have the 20-inch wheels for the limited model. Now this is a nightshade edition, and that was kind of a standard feature for that. It's got the blacked out wheels. You see the badging is blacked out. It's got the black caps on the side view mirrors there. The grille is part of that nightshade edition as well. And so that's been another big thing that a lot of people have not cared for. They don't care for the 22, the grille. And I agree with that. I'm not fond of the chrome around the outside of the grille there. But I guess when you look at the vehicle as a whole, so you have the chrome badging, you have the chrome door handles, you have the chrome strip around the windows there. It does tie it in a little bit better when you look at it from that aspect. But there again, I wish they had blacked it out like they do in the Platinum model. And I'll do a video later on the Platinum model just so you can see the differences. All right, headlights. So you do have the the LED headlamps, and those are an upgrade on the limited model. And then you've got the halogen headlamps with these. Your fog lights down there, those are an LED upgraded fog light, but you see they're off to the side of the vehicle where they've put it in the center here where everything's kind of tied in better together. I don't know that one's extremely better than the other. I do know that we have great visibility in the 2022 model, but I haven't driven a 2021 model in the evening when it was dark to be able to tell the difference. So anyway, all right, I'm going to jump inside the vehicle. I made comment about seeing how much space was actually between the driver and passenger. Could be an illusion, but it seems like you are a lot closer to the passenger on that side. And then the console here, obviously the smaller screen, you got your climate controls are here. This one does have the heated seats, where the new 2022 model has heated and cooled seats. The dash itself, the layout on the 2021 model is actually not bad. It's not that much different than what you have on the 2022 model, at least for the limited, that is. We're going to do something here real quick. Okay, see his average fuel economy, 12.5. Now, he lives about 40 miles away, and so he's got about at least a 30-mile drive each way, and that's on the highway. I've had some viewers to say that, oh yeah, you know, I'm getting 14 miles to the gallon on mine running around town, and they're talking about the 5.7 liter. And one review, or one comment rather, I should say, that I got back says, yeah, I'm driving like a, I'm not even gonna say the word, but a jerk, and meaning he just had his foot to the floor all the time and he's getting 14 miles a gallon. Okay, I'm gonna have to call BS on that one, because here again, this is mostly highway driving and 12.4. I'll jump in mine in here in just a few minutes. I'm getting 16.5, and that's a combined, and that's about 8 miles on the highway coming to work, and I have about 5 miles of in-town driving or city driving, and so like I said, combined of 16.5. So there again, you can't tell me that you're getting the same fuel economy that the new V6 twin turbo is getting. Talk about the stereo here for a moment. So you have the 8-inch screen here. It does have your built-in navigation. You got your climate controls are here. You do have home link that's on the rear view mirror. It does have the SOS button, just like we have in the new 2022. But like I said, you do have the heated seats as opposed to the heated and cooled. Here on the steering wheel, you got your adaptive radar cruise, you got your lane departure. Now in the 2022 model, you have lane trace assist, so it's part of Safety Sense 2.5, and I'll go into that a little bit more in a little bit. So anyway, that's it for the inside on this one. Let's go get in the 2022 model. Okay, one of the things that I noticed right away as soon as I get in the truck is the seats are not near as comfortable in the 2022 as what they are in the 2021 model. So I made this comment before, I do wish that Toyota had gone with real leather and made the seats a little bit more comfortable. Not saying these are really uncomfortable, they're just not as comfortable as what they were in the 2021 model. A couple distinct differences. Number one, let's start this truck up. All right, I'm gonna let you see there, 16.5 miles per gallon. That is the average fuel economy. That's, like I said, around town and driving to and from work. It's about 88 miles on the highway each way, and about 5 miles in town. So 16.5 versus the 12.5, and his is mostly highway. You do have the power folding mirrors, so that's one feature that they didn't have on the 21 model. they've changed the layout of the steering wheel. So the cruise control was actually back behind the steering wheel on the 2021, where they moved it up here on the steering wheel for the 2022. You got your adaptive cruise, you got your lane departure. As I mentioned, you do have lane trace assist. Now, for anybody who's not seen a video before, you can turn that feature off. So I'm going to have you watch the screen, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to push and hold this, and that will eventually turn everything off. So you watch the screen there. Now if I hit it, it will toggle on and off for your lane trace assist and steering assist. Okay, so now I'm going to push and hold it, and that turns everything off. So it is possible to turn those features off. Let's turn it back on there. The stereo screen obviously is a huge difference. Now this is your 14-inch stereo screen. Climate controls, a little different layout. As I mentioned, it does seem like there's quite a bit more room between the driver and the passenger, and just seems like you have more elbow space to speak of. Everything kind of, the cockpit feels the same. You know, like I said, the layout's just a little bit different. In your climate controls, you got heated and cooled seats, your heated mirrors, and then down here you got your view monitor. So basically what that is, it's the same thing, but it's in many different vehicles. So in the TRD off-road, you're going to call it a terrain monitor. In vehicles without the TRD off-road, they're going to call it a panorama view monitor. In cars and SUVs, they call it a bird's eye view, but it basically does the same thing. So instead of having one backup camera, you got cameras underneath the side view mirrors. You've got one in the front of the vehicle. You actually have one in the back. And so as soon as you put it in reverse, you got not only your backup, but you also have your side view mirrors where you can see where you're at within the parking spaces. Then you also have steering that you got the dynamic lines, and then when you're backing up to a trailer, shows you exactly where you're at as you're backing up and how close you are to the ball. And then of course the center makes it easier getting lined up with that trailer. And then of course you got your locking rear axle because you do have the TRD off-road. You've got drive modes, and that's one of the things that the 21 did not have. You don't have the drive mode that switches from eco, normal, and sport. And so I'm going to flip it into eco for a moment. There's eco mode, normal mode, and sport mode. And you notice that it pops up on the screen letting you know which mode you're in as well. So eco, normal doesn't come up for that, but it does come up with sport. And then you got your shift on the fly 4-wheel drive, and then 4 high and 4 low. A lot of people have complained that they haven't come up with an all-wheel drive feature or an automatic 4-wheel drive feature, and yeah, I do get that. It's something they wish they could have done or should have done. But then back to the crawl control. Crawl control wasn't available for the 2021 model, and so with this, you know, you got downhill assist and crawl control, and then you got your multi-terrain select. So those are cool features that they've added to the vehicle that they didn't have in the 2021. You got your home link at the bottom of the mirror. You also have a digital rear view mirror, which that way if you have luggage in the bed, or I should say cargo in the bed, and it's blocking the view out your back window, then you can always flip the digital rear view mirror and see what you've got back there. And so on the back of the cab, you actually have 2 cameras back there. One shines down in the bed, so if you had cargo back there that was secured and you had it tied down, you can see what's in there and make sure that it's still secured. But then you also have one that's facing the trailer, and then you also have, you know, your backup camera back there where you can see the ball back there too when your trailer is connected. So a lot of different features that they didn't have on the 2021 model. And of course, you know, as I mentioned, you got the huge panel sunroof, which lets in a lot more light and does make it seem a lot more spacious in here. So I'm gonna cut the video short there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take them for a test drive. So I'm going to go ahead and drive my truck on the same route, and that way I already have kind of a feel of what it feels like. And then I'm going to go back and drive the 2021 model and do the same thing. So flip the camera around here. So there again, I'll check back with you in just a few minutes. Thanks.